Hi guys, it's Dave Grover for Fitzen Knives. I figured I'd take a minute to tell you what's going on. Now the main reason you haven't seen John in a while is that we lacked a camera guy. We've got a new camera guy, though he's really more from the production end, not the camera shooting end. And our equipment's a little limited. We're using everything we can find that will kind of record, and he's fixing it up best he can. New equipment is on our top priority. Don't be surprised if you feel that we're going for the monetization a little heavier to fund it. I'm also doing some of the new administration for John. So if your comment gets deleted, either someone flagged it, not me, John doesn't really approve of that, or I screwed up, sorry. Now if you're asking, where some of the girls have gone, some of them have moved on, modeling careers, but you may see some of them again. We're going to do our best to get you 2 videos a month. Unfortunately, since I'm more involved, you're going to have to deal with my ugly mug more often. So your reward for sitting through this little bit is I'm going to show you a rather neat little gun that we found. This was brought into the gun store. And as you can see, it's a standard 1911 broken out here for comparison. First thing you'll notice is I'm using a Phillips head. Now if I can just get a good grip. Now Phillips heads on 1911s are not unheard of. They're just not very usual. If you could really see the condition of these heads though, you'd suspect something's up already. In fact, if you can see the coarseness of these threads, you can tell that somebody screwed these direct into the frame. As you can see, no bushings. Now, checking to make sure it's empty. 1, 2, 3. Especially you guys who own Glocks, be sure to do that 3 times. Personally, I like to add in checking visually and tactily. Because we don't want to kill ourselves. That would be rather embarrassing. Now, you'll notice that normally when I'd spin the bushing, this one won't cooperate at all. So, I'll just disassemble it the hard way. And there's a lot going to be hard about this thing. Drop it forward, wrap your hand around to take control. Give ourselves a little working space now. Went and grabbed my trusty Brownell's bushing wrench because this one is special. And I mean that in both the positive and negative versions of the term. I think something would catch and go loose eventually. There we go. Sorry, turned it the wrong direction. I was so busy fighting it that I forgot what I was doing. Now, the truth of what makes this special, you'll see in a second. You'll notice it has an old 4-prong style that everybody's gone away from. These prongs are notorious for breaking while you're firing. And usually it takes a dead blow hammer to open it up from there. I'm now going to pull the barrel for you. We're going to compare them side by side. You'll see the differences pretty immediately. Notice how the locking areas are different. It's a little hard to see on camera, but it's very measurable that this bore is not drilled straight. Or to be more precise, they started with what looks to be a standard bore, a standard barrel, and using hand tools, which is what makes this gun so special. They built it. In fact, nothing is even. We found no proof of any tool mark beyond a very basic drill. May have even been a hand-powered drill like the old egg beater drills. So someone somewhere built this the hard way. Now, there's no way to pull the firing pin, at least not in front of the camera here. But right through here, the machine marks are far from as symmetrical as they should be, or I should say the file marks. There are some possible marks in here for a machine tool, but for the most part it looks like everything was filed. We don't know where it was built. It says government model on the side. When this first showed up, we thought it was a Colt because the government model Colt markings look mostly right, but on further examination we think it's built from the ground up slide. The frame, however, starts showing us other information. First, if it'll let me, I'll pull the magazine latch, or mag catch if you prefer. I'm going to fold it down. Now this is very hard to see. I'll pull the mag catch from a standard 1911. Standard here. You can see the difference in size. But what's really interesting is the screw here that holds that whole assembly in place. While some of the components look like they were, well, my suspicion is that they were battlefield salvage, most of the components don't match commercial by a long shot. For example, here there should be a pin retaining this spring. Here's a standard safety here, and here's the one for the, geez, this thing needs a name. We'll call it the file built gun, or just the file gun for short. Though I don't want to call what this fellow, whoever he may have or she may have been, an improvisationalist. Like I said, everything about this indicates hand tools. I've only found a few machine marks that look like they could possibly have come from the proper milling tools. But here's the disconnector, and here's a standard disconnector. Side by side you can see quite different. This has obviously been done with a file and a grinder. Unfortunately the light doesn't reveal some of the tool marks that I'm using to make these determinations. Here's the sear. And here's the flat spring. Original, well, proper, and the improvised. What's interesting is the frame through here is not straight, the way the work was done. This is the primary indicator that whoever was doing this was using hand tools, because there's signs that as they were working it was wobbling. Now you might be asking, Dave, you're on Fitzen Knives showing us guns. We love guns, but why are you spending your time on this? The 1911 is a fairly complex gun to build, especially using these methods. Here's the trigger for you. Probably your final biggest indicator of how different this is from standard. But let me put it to you this way. If you think any gun ban proposal can work, this is a late industrial revolution era production gun. Built with tools that would have not been out of place in any blacksmith shop in the country. You've seen John make knives. There's no reason John can't make guns that way too. Need a little more here and there, but as a really expert blacksmith told me once, there's nothing stopping me from making an AK-47. Wouldn't be quite right, but it'd work. So, the next time someone's telling you we just need to ban all guns, please inform them that they've also got to ban all machine tools and all files, which means that all of your technology and easy life is going to have to go away. So, for Fitzen Knives, I'm Dave Grover. Feel free to pass this video around to your friends. And remember, the most important thing to disprove my opinion is that I'm fat and bald. Take care, guys.
Keep your edges sharp and your powder dry.